Hello everyone, this is Al Red Sox Fan coming to you from Al Red Sox Fan YouTube channel. Hope all is well on this evening or whenever you're watching. We have another Glory Days boxing match, and it will be Teofilo Stevenson taking on Frank Bruno. He has jumped across the pond from Monaco to England to take on the legendary British pugilist. Teofilo Stevenson, since turning pro on the Al Red Sox Fan YouTube channel using Glory Days Boxing, is 4 wins, no losses, and 4 stoppages. His first bout was a huge one. From Montreal, he TKO'd George Foreman in the second, defeating a former heavyweight champion. He would then travel to Monaco and defeat Primo Carnera, who went into the 6th round with him. The big Italian did rattle the Cuban a couple of times, but was TKO'd himself in the 6th. He would then go back to Montreal and defeat his Olympic nemesis and Pan Am Game nemesis, Dwayne Bobick, TKO in the 3rd. Then back to Monaco, where he KO'd Luis Firpo to the chagrin of Juan Perón and the joy of Fidel Castro. So Teofilo Stevenson is 4-0 with 4 stoppages. Will take on Frank Bruno, making his inaugural debut here on the Al Red Sox Fan YouTube channel via Glory Days Boxing. We've seen him in title bout in our tournament. So Frank Bruno, and Margaret Thatcher is here at ringside. She has told Frank how important this matchup is. And I believe there's a side bet between Fidel Castro and Margaret Thatcher. I don't want to know. All right, so let's get to ringside, and the original Grognard is here across the pond, merry old England, to see the bout. Check out that wonderful military strategy channel and much, much more. So Teofilo Stevenson, his amateur record, His amateur record, 302 victories, 22 defeats, no draws, 198 stoppages. Frank Bruno, his professional record, 40 wins, 5 losses, no draws, and 38 via the stoppage. Bobby Cantillano has traveled across the pond. She's at ringside to see this bout between Teofilo Stevenson and Frank Bruno. Bobby sitting close to Margaret Thatcher there. Fidel Castro keeps staring over at Thatcher. We can only imagine what that side bet is. Rumors has it that if Teofilo Stevenson wins, from what I hear, Margaret Thatcher will have to accompany Fidel Castro at the UN dance. All right, both pugilists are now in the ring. They have played the Cuban national anthem to respectful silence here at Wembley. And now they will play God Save the Queen as the English fans sing along to the national anthem. And now the bout shall begin. Final instructions for each fighter. Any questions from the Stevenson corner? The referee asks. They say no. Any questions from the Bruno corner? They say no. He said, let's get it on. All right. Teofilo Stevenson is in the red corner. Frank Bruno is in the blue corner. It is scheduled for 10 rounds of boxing, 3 10-minute rounds. Stevenson has 70 stamina points to Bruno's 60 stamina points. Bruno, tremendous power, 7 power rating. Stevenson, no slouch either, 5 power rating. Stevenson's a headhunter trait. No outside punches can be blocked. Frank Bruno has the Hail Mary trait, +1 to his power if behind in the last 2 rounds of the fight. Stevenson on the inside lands 0 through 47. On the outside, 0 through 42. Frank Bruno on the inside lands 0 through 46. On the inside, and on the outside, 0 through 42. So should be an intriguing matchup. Can Bruno's power dent the Cuban's chin? We shall see. Ding, ding goes the bell. Round number 1 scheduled for 10 from Wembley. Packed house. A 4 for Teofilo Stevenson. That is nothing on the outside, as Stevenson is a 9-star fighter. Bruno is a 6-starred fighter. And a 6 for Frank Bruno. Nothing on the inside. It will be a toe-to-toe exchange. Stevenson will, the higher-starred fighter, will go first. He'll have momentum. So Stevenson goes from the outside where he feels comfortable. And that's a 94. A 94 from the outside is a clinch. So Stevenson ties up as Bruno is getting his range looking to load up, and that ends that segment. The referee breaks them, as Stevenson might be intimidated by the big Englishman. We move on to round number 1 continues. A 5 and a 5. Stevenson 2 stars on the outside, 2 stars on the inside for Frank Bruno. Stevenson will go first once again. Will he tie up? An 88 on the inside. And again, Stevenson just ties up. The referee warns Stevenson. So they come to watch you guys fight, not maul and brawl. Bruno tried to rough him up there. So Stevenson trying to frustrate Frank. As the round continues, a 4 for Teofilo Stevenson, nothing on the outside, and a 1 for Frank Bruno, 1 on the outside. Frank has control. He's going to fire away. He lands 0 through 42. That's a 61. He will miss. A countering opportunity for Teofilo Stevenson. 1 through 5, it's a 16. He just ties up again. Bruno is getting very frustrated with these tactics by the big Cuban Teofilo Stevenson. A 4 for Teofilo Stevenson. Nothing on the outside, and a 1 for Frank Bruno again. Bruno's got to let his hands go and land. Stevenson trying to grab onto him. Bruno, an 82. And again they fall into the clinches. No, an 82. And it's a missed punch. Countering opportunity now for Teofilo Stevenson, but he ties him up. The crowd starts to boo. They do not like the Cubans' tactics here. Neither man has landed a meaningful blow. A lot of mauling and brawling on the inside. A lot of tree hugging by Teofilo Stevenson. Could he be intimidated by the muscular Frank Bruno? A 4 once again for Teofilo Stevenson. A horrible result. Nothing on the outside against a 6 for Frank Bruno. Nothing on the inside. Stevenson. Bruno has momentum. Bruno goes first. And finally, Frank's going to land some punches on the inside. That's a 4. He will land 4 punches in this toe-to-toe exchange as he digs once to the body and 3 times to the head. Stevenson's turn on the toe-to-toe exchange. That's a 50 on the outside, and he'll land a 1-2 as he pushes Bruno away. Power check for both fighters. Stevenson needs a 5 and under. Bruno needs a 7 and under. Neither fighter gets that. 15 for Stevenson. A 20 for Bruno. A possible cut on Teofilo Stevenson. He cuts out of 4, and it's a 10. So no cut. A minute 20 left in a very sloppy, mauling, brawling round. Stevenson with a 5. Bruno with momentum. 2 stars on the outside for Stevenson, a 3 for Frank Bruno. 2 stars on the outside. Bruno will go first. Both men wailing away. 92 for Frank Bruno on the outside, and that's a clinch. And again, the mauling and brawling. That ends all the action. 1 minute to go, and the fans continue to boo here at Wembley. They want to see some action. Bruno right now up 4-2. A 4 for Teofilo Stevenson, nothing on the outside. A 5 to Frank Bruno, 2 on the inside. Bruno forces his way on the inside as he likes to hold and hit on the inside. Not very proficient, in my opinion, on the inside. And that is very proficient. That is a 2. He bangs away as he holds Teofilo Stevenson behind the head, and he nails him with 5 punches, including an uppercut ripped right through the guard, snapping Stevenson's head. 5 possible blows land. Stevenson, defense check. He blocks 1 through 3, 4, and 5. A punch will be added. It's a 4 as a left hook is dug to the body by Bruno to Stevenson. Power check for Frank Bruno. He needs a 7 and under. He is battering Teofilo Stevenson. Stevenson holds on as he's trapped on the ropes. The referee breaks him. 40 seconds to go here in round 1. Bruno's come alive. The crowd has come alive here at Wembley. It is a 3 for Teofilo Stevenson. 2 on the inside against a 5 for Frank Bruno. 2 on the inside. It's a toe-to-toe exchange. Bruno keeps the Cuban pinned on the ropes. Bruno, a 58 on the inside. He misses. Stevenson on the toe-to-toe exchange on the inside. A 34. He lands 3 short punches. A nice, crisp combination by Teofilo Stevenson. And you know Bruno doesn't have the best beard. Power check for Stevenson, a 5. It's a 1, a possible knockdown as Bruno wilts. Bruno will go down. 3 and under. He is hurt. 8 through 4. And it's an 11. Bruno grabs on. And the referee breaks as Bruno's holding on to the ropes. 20 seconds left. So Teofilo Stevenson landed a good shot. Stevenson with momentum. 6 for Teofilo Stevenson. 2 on the inside against a 5. 2 on the inside. Toe-to-toe exchange. Towards the center of the ring. They're going to go Billy Goat to Billy Goat. Stevenson goes first. 62 on the inside. He misses those shots. Bruno retaliates. A 66, and he misses those shots. Ding, ding goes the bell. A lot of action towards the end of that round after a lot of frustrating fans watching a lot of clutch grab and not a lot of punching. So ding, ding goes the bell. Bruno was a bit rocked towards the end of the round, but he wins the round 10-5 on punches. So 10 punches for Frank Bruno to 5 to Stevenson. Stevenson, a lot of grabbing on as Bruno seemed to intimidate him early on. Bruno takes the round 10-9, but Stevenson seems much more comfortable after rocking Bruno a bit. Stamina for Stevenson goes down to 60. Bruno's stamina is 55. As we prepare for round number 2 scheduled for 10. Stevenson will have momentum if we start off in a toe-to-toe exchange. Ding, ding goes the bell for round number 2. Teofilo Stevenson, a 2. That's 2 stars on the outside against a 3 for Frank Bruno. That's 2 on the outside. So again, another toe-to-toe exchange. Stevenson feeling some oats here. He's feeling a little more confident, and he should. That's a 14. And huge punches, big punches, land on Bruno. Stevenson opens up. Bruno fires away. Those are 4 punches landed by Stevenson. A thudding left hook as he is a southpaw after the right-handed jabs. A 46 for Frank Bruno from the outside, and he misses his shots. Only a power check for Teofilo Stevenson, and it is a 6. So Bruno survives it, grabs onto Stevenson. 2:40 left in round number 2. Stevenson a lot more confident after rattling Frank late in round number 1. A 1 for Teofilo Stevenson. That is 1 on the inside against a 4 for Frank Bruno. Bruno backing up. Stevenson has him. Stevenson gets in punching distance. He's going to fire. And that's a 17 on the inside. Again, a 4-handed combination. The punches are flying freely from the Cuban. 8 possible punches landed. Defense check for Frank. A 1 or a 2 he blocks. 3 through 5. It's a 20. So he gets hit with all the shots. Stevenson power check. Again, 5 and under. It's a 14. 2:20 left in round number 2. It's been all Teofilo Stevenson. Bruno a little more cautious after being rattled late in round 1. A 6 for Stevenson. 2 on the inside against a 5. 2 on the inside for Bruno. Toe-to-toe exchange again as Stevenson starts backing Bruno towards the ropes. Stevenson fires away. That is a 22 on the inside. 3 punches landed. A jab, a left hand because he's a southpaw. Then he shoots an uppercut, snapping Bruno's head back. Bruno firing away in the toe-to-toe exchange. 83. He misses. And he holds on. So an 83. I'm going to count that the punches did land. And he holds on. We won't go with a power check, though. So Bruno holds on. 2 minutes to go in round number 2. It's been all Teofilo Stevenson. That brief success of Frank Bruno is gone late in round number 1 when he got rattled. A 6 and a 6. 2 on the inside for Stevenson. Nothing on the inside for Frank Bruno. Bruno trapped on the ropes. Fidel Castro screaming in Spanish. Pour it on to Stevenson. It's a 52 on the inside, and he misses his shots. Bruno looks to counter off the ropes. And he does not. He just holds on. 1:40 to go in round number 2. Bruno still laying on those ropes. He could be dazed here. A 5 for Stevenson. 2 on the outside against a 3 for Bruno. 2 on the outside. Bruno, as Stevenson backs up, luring Bruno into a trap possibly. He throws from the outside. 69. He misses his shots. Bruno firing away. That's a 13 on the outside. Bruno will land 4 punches. Good thudding shots by Frank Bruno. The right hand gets through. Power check for Frank. It's a 9. So Stevenson slides away. 1:20 left in round 2. A lot better action here, though most of it has been by the Cuban. Stevenson. A 6 for Teofilo Stevenson. 2 on the inside against a 5 for Frank Bruno. 2 on the inside. A toe-to-toe exchange. Bruno goes first in this toe-to-toe exchange. Center of the ring, 32 on the inside for Frank Bruno. Left and a right to the body and an uppercut splits Stevenson's guard. Stevenson throws simultaneously. It's a toe-to-toe exchange. A 35 for Teofilo Stevenson on the inside. And he lands 3 short punches. Back and forth they go. Stevenson up to 14 blows landed. Simultaneous power check. Red for Stevenson, blue for Bruno. Neither man meets the requirements. 1 minute left. A lot of action here. The fans on their feet cheering on their countryman Frank Bruno. A 1 for Teofilo Stevenson, 1 on the inside, and a 3 for Frank Bruno. 2 on the outside. Bruno, offense, 58 from the outside. He misses. Countering opportunity for Teofilo Stevenson. It's a 2. He lands a crisp, a right jab and a left hand. Again, he is a southpaw. 2 crisp shots. 16 punches landed by Teofilo Stevenson. 40 seconds to go. Bruno pawing at his eye. No cut, but maybe he caught a little thumb there. We don't know. A 1 for Stevenson. 1 on the inside against a 3 for Frank Bruno. 2 on the outside. Stevenson backs up, trying to bait Bruno in. Bruno fires away. A 41. He will land a 1 and a 2. The right hand followed that jab quite quickly. Possible 9 punches landed. Defense check for Stevenson. That is a 5. And Bruno hits him with a hook on the way in also. Power check for Frank Bruno. He needs a 7 and under. It's a 4. The Cuban is hurt. Will he go down? Chin check. 2 and under, he's down. 5 through 3, he's hurt. It's a 20. Possible cut on the Cuban. A 4 and under for a cut. It's a 20. So 20 seconds to go, but Bruno rattles Stevenson now. Stevenson with a 16-10 lead. He will win the round unless he's knocked down. A 3 for Teofilo Stevenson. 2 on the inside against a 5 for Frank Bruno. 2 on the inside. Bruno with momentum. They're in the center of the ring. They're going to stand toe-to-toe and bomb away. Bruno with a 68 on the inside. He misses the shots. Teofilo Stevenson with an 11. He will end the round with a flurry. 3 punches land. 4 punches. Another one lands. 20 blows landed by Stevenson. Power check for Teofilo Stevenson. 13. Ding, ding goes the bell. A lot more action. Though Bruno was on the receiving end of most of it, he did rattle Teofilo Stevenson towards the end of the round, but Stevenson came back quite well. So Stevenson will take that round as he landed 20 blows, no longer intimidated by the big Englishman. Bruno landed 10. Same output as in round 1, but he got hit a lot more. A 10-9 round for Stevenson. After 2, we're tied at 19. Stevenson's stamina is 50. Bruno's stamina is 35. We prepare for round number 3. Stevenson will have momentum in our Glory Days boxing match. Round number 3 here from Wembley, scheduled for 10 3-minute rounds. A 1 and a 1, Snake Eyes. 1 on the inside for Stevenson, 1 on the outside for Bruno. Stevenson works his way in. Bruno backs to the rope. Stevenson fires away. 60, he misses. Bruno pushes Stevenson off. He gets distance. He fires. It's a 25, and Frank Bruno, 2 jabs and a thudding right hand. Power check for Frank Bruno. 7 and under he needs. Oh, it's a 5. The Cuban is rattled once again. And a 14, but he grabs on to Bruno. So a good start for Frank. 2:40 left in round number 3. A 5 for Teofilo Stevenson. 2 on the outside against a 2 for Frank Bruno. 1 on the inside. Stevenson composes himself. He's at where the distance he likes. He throws from distance. A 65, he will miss. He will miss. Countering opportunity for Frank Bruno. He lands 1 through 4. And it's a 1! Another jab right hand combination on the counter as Bruno getting in a very nice rhythm here. Up to 5 punches landed. Stevenson backing away from the big Englishman. Bruno pursues. A 1 for Teofilo Stevenson. 1 star on the inside and a 4. Nothing on the outside. Stevenson ducks those shots. He's inside and he's in close. Stevenson lets his hands go on the inside. 51. He misses. Bruno with a countering opportunity looking to land a big uppercut. And he cannot. And Stevenson grabs on. 2 minutes left in round number 3. Bruno trying to assert his dominance once again. A 4 and a 4. Will this close the door? Nothing on the outside for Teofilo Stevenson. His worst roll, no stars there. And a 4 for Bruno, no stars there. So they will go on the outside. And Stevenson had landed a miss, and Bruno landed a counter. Bruno will go first. Both fighters from distance. A 6 for Frank from the outside. 4 punches landed. 2 jabs, right hand, left hook. Rattling the Cuban once again. He's up to 9 polos. Now Teofilo Stevenson goes. A 27 from the outside for the Cuban national. And he lands 2 right jabs and a straight left. Finally gets some punches in simultaneous power checks. Stevenson the red. Bruno the blue. That is a 1. Possible cut, but we'll do the knockdown possibility first. So that is a 1. 20 the other way. So Bruno looks like there could be a trickle of blood. Now, another possible knockdown. Stevenson goes down 2 and under. He's hurt 5 through 3. It's a 2! Down goes Teofilo Stevenson as the British fans and English fans rise here at Wembley to shock. Stevenson is down. Fidel Castro, his cigar just dropped out of his mouth. Will he beat the count? A 1 and this is over. It's a 10. He gets up at the count. Gets up right away. The count of 1. So Stevenson is down. Knockdown of Stevenson as he takes the mandatory 8 count. He was down for 1. And now Bruno looking to finish him. So Bruno scores the knockdown. The referee says, "Are you okay to go?" Stevenson nods his head. Bruno will go unopposed. He needs to land 3 punches for a possible TKO check. And that's a 4. So here we go. Frank Bruno gets a 4. And he's on the outside. That's not where he wants to be. He needs to land 3 punches for a possible TKO check. He needs to roll low here. It's a 24. That's low enough. 3 punches landed. Stevenson backs to the ropes. Bruno snaps his head over and over again. The referee looking on. If it's a 4 or under, this fight's over. It is over! The referee jumps in. Stevenson is out on his feet on the ropes. Bruno raises his hands in victory. Margaret Thatcher jumps for joy. It is wild here in Wembley. It is Mardi Gras, Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, and Kwanzaa all in one. It's unbelievable. Frank Bruno has stopped the destructive reign of Teofilo Stevenson. Teofilo Stevenson has been TKO'd here in round number 3. Unbelievable. Frank Bruno dropped Teofilo Stevenson. It looked like a flash knockdown, but he felt it. Stevenson quickly popped up, took the 8 count. Bruno was in the neutral corner. His countrymen, his cornermen, everyone screaming for him to put him away. Margaret Thatcher screaming the loudest. She did not want to go on that dance date with Fidel Castro to the UN dance. And my God, he trapped him on the ropes. He let his hands go. A vicious uppercut nearly decapitated the Cuban gold medalist, 3-time gold medalist. Somehow he stood on his feet. The knees buckled. And quickly jumping in to save Teofilo Stevenson from any further punishment was the referee. Frank Bruno has ended the win streak at 4 for the Cuban Teofilo Stevenson. Fidel Castro, head in his hands in shock. I think he dropped his cigar in his lap. He might have burnt himself. Unbelievable. Margaret Thatcher has just walked over to Fidel and, oh my Lord. Oh boy. She has given him a gag ball. Oh, we can only imagine what's going to go on there. So, the Dragon Lady is quite happy. So, Frank Bruno is victorious. And we will roll for the stoppage now as we were in segment 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And we roll the 6-sided die. It is a 1. And a 1. I'm going to say it says at the 124 mark. So at the 124 mark, the referee stops the bout in round number 3. Winner by TKO, Frank Bruno. The fans are re-singing God Saves the Queen. There is euphoria, and it's unbelievable here. Flags waving. Teofilo Stevenson goes over and shakes Frank Bruno's hand. He seems okay. A gentleman always, Teofilo Stevenson. So Frank Bruno winning by TKO at the 124 mark of round 2. Had knocked down. Well, that we already did that in the prior round. So, did he? Yes. Dropped him. Round 3, he knocked him down, finished him off. So, that was round 3 of round 3. So he drops Stevenson and then he TKOs him. Frank Bruno. So Teofilo Stevenson is now 4-1. No draws with 4 stoppages. Frank Bruno is now 1-0. No draws with a stoppage. So Frank Bruno stops the win streak of Teofilo Stevenson, and he does it in a huge way. Stevenson 4-1. As he was TKO'd. I'm just putting a little note towards the bottom. You can't see it because the video is there. TKO'd 3rd by Bruno. What an exciting matchup. Started off quite slow. Stevenson didn't know how to treat the big Englishman. And in the end, it was the big Englishman giving Teofilo Stevenson a trick and then the treat. So, Frank Bruno defeats Teofilo Stevenson. Margaret Thatcher is extremely happy. Fidel Castro, not so much. And I'd like to say thank you to our luminaries at ringside, Bobby Cantilano. Check out her wonderful YouTube channel and Facebook page, and the original Grognard, all things military strategy and much, much more. So Frank Bruno is victorious over Teofilo Stevenson. He dropped him for a 1 count, a flash knockdown we thought, but it certainly rattled the Cuban in the third, and then he finished him off on the ropes, snapping his head over and over. The final, a big uppercut splitting the Cuban's guard, and the referee seen Stevenson's head snap one too many times. He jumped in and stopped the fight at the 124 mark of the third round. Bruno is victorious, and England celebrates their victory of their countrymen. Till next time, health and happiness. Take care. Bye-bye. God bless. Watch out for that big left hook or right hand. Hope you enjoyed it. Peace!